was in the studio, and I actually rehearsed while I was recording because I'm doing an album with another band, and you know, I couldn't make the rehearsal. I wanted to just to come and hang out, not even to rehearse, because these guys are great. I mean, I've seen all these guys over the years, and now it's like a reunion. Like I haven't seen Carmine.
Oh, the camera. Let's start. You haven't seen Carmine for...
I haven't seen Carmine. It's got to be for a couple of years, and I see him now. Rod, I haven't seen Rod for a few years.
How exciting.
It's great, you know. Joe,
family, right?
Joe Franco,
Yeah.
Brian Tichy, I haven't seen in like 3 years. But I mean, but you keep touch with each other. But everybody's like, hey, dude, I'm in the West Coast. Oh, but I'm not. I'm over in Europe or whatever. When they call, like they come to New York, it's like, hey, AJ, I'm in New York. I'm not. I'm down in Florida or, you know, wherever I may be, because I do a lot of different projects. But every time you get a chance to be, you know, amongst the greats, and these guys are great, it's super.
So, AJ, you were from around here?
I live in Staten Island.
Okay.
Yes.
And you grew up around these parts?
I grew up in Staten Island.
I can hear the accent, you know, being a Sydney-sider. I'm starting to get used to the different boroughs and...
Well, actually, I have people say I have a Brooklyn accent. I was born in Brooklyn, but I was too young to develop an accent when I moved to Staten Island. So it's kind of... But then again, everybody from Brooklyn moved to Staten Island, so it's like, you know, became a little... everybody knew each other. So that kind of verbiage... took over, you know, as far as the way I talk.
Awesome. And so, look, we've jumped in the interview. AJ, tell us a bit, like, who are you for those people that don't know? Just a little bit about you, who you've played with.
With a band called Twisted Sister, if you never heard of it.
If you haven't heard of them...
If you haven't heard of us, no.
Google it, or Bing it, or YouTube it.
I think everybody, whether you like it or you're not, I think everybody knows who Twisted Sister is. Musically, I mean, not a lot of people, unless you come and see us, realize the intensity and the musicianship that goes up. Because, you know, Twisted was amongst, you know, the Kiss and Motley Crue and this, where it's more hair and makeup and show. And but you know, we play our instruments very well.
You do.
And, you know, I got into this whole thing, meeting all these drummers, is because I used to do a lot of clinics, drum clinics, and I used to do the PAS Society, and I taught up in Manhattan over here at the Drummers Collective. And then that's how I became friends with a lot of these drummers, because they're like, wow, man, you know, my background is jazz orientated, and I played a lot of fusion and stuff when I was younger. I only started playing just that when I joined Twisted, because I'd rather do that than work at a supermarket. And fortunately, you know, we sold about 20 million albums, and
just a few.
Yeah, just a few.
Yeah.
And
could have done better, but
yeah, if I was playing with Michael Jackson, maybe. I mean, you know, and the notoriety brought me to a level where, okay, now I have to, you know, I established myself as this. Now it's time to do other things, and that's where I'm at the point right now.
Awesome, awesome. So we're here.
But I'm still, not to cut you off, but I'm still out. We're not touring. I'm still out with Twisted. We do about 20, 25 shows a year all over. Next week, 2 weeks, I'll be Austin, Texas. We'll be Hellfest in France and Grasspop in Belgium. Sweden rocks again. So we do all the big festivals. Yes, we're going to be coming to your country,
Australia?
I think very soon.
Well, I won't be there. I'm going to be here because that's what I'm doing. But I'm sure the Aussies back at home will appreciate it.
We haven't played Australia since 1986. And since the band reunited in 2003, we've been getting a lot of, can you guys come out? Can you guys come out here? So we have to make it where we're going to do Japan, Australia, New Zealand.
It's a long haul.
Like we did in the old days, yeah. So we'll get out. We'll get out there. But, yeah, so we're lucky enough to still be out there doing a bunch of shows a year where people are like, wow, okay, AJ's back, he's out, he's bigger, and he's bad. And then I come out with some other stuff. So it actually works in my favor.
Excellent, excellent. So, Bonzo Bash.
Oh, it's amazing. I've been a John Bonham fan. Actually, he's one of the reasons why I actually started playing rock. There was 4 bands that my father didn't want me to play like, in bands like, I'm going to say. It was because I was brought up with big band jazz. I was playing fusion stuff. And he didn't want me to play in bands like Led Zeppelin or the Beatles or the Who, or Chicago. He loved Blood, Sweat, and Tears. He loved Emerson, Lake and Palmer. He loved, but he didn't want me to play with Sabbath, Zeppelin. So those are the bands I played with. I played with back then cover bands, high school dances. We're playing like, you know, the Ocean and you know, Zeppelin and Black Sabbath and all, and just bashing. And he would come and he would like, and I would be like, oh shit, and I'm playing, you know. Then I'd go into like Moby Dick or something, and I would just do like, you know, and he'd be like, all right, well, okay. So, with that said, John Bonham was one of my favorite drummers. Keith Moon, Carl Palmer, Neil Peart. Gene Krupa was actually the one that influenced all of us. In the 20s and the 30s, he was one of the first he was the drummer to introduce drum solos. So, and I had the pleasure of knowing Gene Krupa for a short while before he got sick. And that was an honor, you know, and he taught me a lot of stuff. And then just watching somebody like John Bonham and saying, wow, he had to be into that era of drumming, because all those great drummers from the 20s, 30s, 40s, they were just doing all this incredible stuff, you know. And then it kind of mellowed out when the 50s came along, and it was more doo-wop and five guys up front, and didn't matter how you played in the back, you know, as long as you kept a straight beat. No drum solos. No drum solos for you. And then, you know, the 60s, they started getting into experimenting and stuff. So then you had the bands like Zeppelin that came out, where you'd go see. I remember
British Invasion.
Yeah, the British.
The Beatles and all
the
that.
Beatles. Yeah, but you know, drummers like Keith Moon and Carl Palmer and John Bonham. Those are the drummers that were taking drum solos, and people would be like, unless they were on acid, they wouldn't enjoy it. But people like me would enjoy it as a drummer. So, and that's, you know, going through high school, that's what I had to deal with. When I got out of high school, I was thinking of going to college, but I got a call from the Twisted Camp, and they said they were auditioning, and they heard about me through another guy, and I auditioned, and I was, I think, the 35th drum audition, and I got the gig right on the spot. So now, just imagine me bringing my father down to see this band with, you know, D.
Yeah.
You know,
Is it jazz?
Not
Is
even
it
the
jazz?
rest of the guys. A band called Twisted Sister, and my dad's like, all right, let me give him the benefit of the doubt. And my mom's like, honey, you know, the kid's getting in there. You know, he's got a record deal. I don't know. And he comes down, he sees the first show, and my father died in '85, but the first show he saw, '82, he came back and he left. My mom went home, and I went home the next morning. We're sitting down, nothing was said, and he looked at me and he goes, "So you like these guys?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's a gig, you know." And he goes, "Yeah, good luck, son." He goes, "You played great last night, by the way." I'm like, "Thanks." So that kind of broke the ice, and that was really cool. That was real cool. I was able
permission for you to like,
yeah.
okay,
Oh, absolutely.
bring your dad's.
And then of course we did the radio shows like the BBC and the King Biscuit Flower Hour. He would listen to it. He was in the hospital dying of cancer when the King Biscuit Flower Hour live from London came on, and then the Christmas before he died, I was able to give him a platinum album, put his name on it.
Wow.
Stay Hungry, we sold 1 million, just, you know, and that was it. A week later he died, and I was just happy to have that, to let him see that, you know.
What a story, man.
Yeah, that was a great thing, and then, you know, he started, like I said, the high school when I started playing this stuff. Then he started respecting guys like John Bonham and Keith Moon, like for their talent, because I kind of opened them up to a little bit more consistency than there was. You know, I mean, Ringo Starr was great, you know, what he did, but I mean, you know, John Bonham and those guys that were like that, with just no comparison. They were in the league of their own, and that's where I tried to follow in that aspect.
Well, I mean, you can't go wrong following them, really. I mean,
no, absolutely not.
Beacons of light.
Yeah.
So look, I mean, we could
Oh, absolutely.
We want to get you in for like a full-length interview. That
Sure.
would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally amazing. And
Absolutely.
we'll put you on the wish list, and we'll get to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we want you to enjoy the night as well, and to mingle with all the other
Thank
drummers.
you.
What can we look forward to? Twisted Sisters.
Yeah,
you're doing the tours. Anything else?
I have,
or are you doing any clinics or masterclasses?
I've been doing spotted clinics here and there, but I'm in the studio. I'm with a band called Tread, which has.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's a great.
I'm not sure if we hear this, but
Great song. Yeah.
sorry.
No.
As you were saying.
No, I put together a band called Tread. Has a guitar player, Mike Orlando, plays with a band called Adrenal Mob, which Mike Portman plays with. Rudy Sazzo on bass, and we just got a new singer. He's in Florida. His name is Matt Wilkeff, and we're working on the album. Hopefully, the album will be out by the fall, towards the the holidays. Name of the band is Tread, T-R-E-D, and I have a couple other things in the works that I can't really tell you right now because it's kind of not a surprise, but it's kind of like a secretive thing that they tell me not to say nothing, and they want to see if I'm going to say something because then they'll tell me you don't have it.
No.
That's how the business is.
That's how it works.
Exactly it. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things I'm working on, and hopefully towards the next few months, towards the end of the year, it'll be out in the public, and then by the time we do whatever you guys want to do one, because I'm always willing to do it.
We can organise it, promote at the same time.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great.
Cool. Okay, so we'll get some details for you. The website. You got a website?
ajpiro.com.
Oh, there it is, bottom of the screen.
twistedsister.com. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
For now.
AJ, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Have a great gig.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome.